Dividends, dividend income, income stocks, what the yield was, growth stocks, preferred stock, and common stock. Any questions on any of those? Okay. And then also yesterday we figured out Roberta's dividends and Elsie's dividends. And this is where we stopped, was right after Elsie. Okay. So right now we're going to talk about the yield. Okay, so if we talk about our yield, purple's a good color for yield. Okay, we do Okay, so your yield is your annual dividend per share divided by the current price of a share, so one share. And this tells you the percent of money that you've earned on that investment. So like I said, the reason you would calculate this is to decide, are you making better money by having your money invested in this particular stock? Or would you be making more money if you invested in a savings account or a CD or a bond or something else? And the yield tells you the percent that you're earning on your money. Okay, so Kristen owns Max's Toy Den, and the annual dividend is $1.40 per share. And her current price is $57.40. So we want to figure out what's the yield. So I'm going to take that dividend and I'm going to divide it by the value of the stock. So $57.40. Okay. We want to know it to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to move this 2 places over to get the percentage. So I'm going to get 2.4.
So you just divided it?
Yeah, I just divided it. Okay, so the yield on that is 2.4%. Now, if she could find an investment option that paid more than 2.4%, for example, maybe a CD, it might make more sense to put that money in the CD instead. But a regular savings account right now is only paying like 0.5% at most. So this is actually a higher yield. So this is a better place to have your money. You're earning more money on your money. Okay, 1 share of BeepCo. They're the people that bleep out the bad words on TV. BeepCo. Just kidding. Okay, pays an annual dividend of $1.20. It closed today at $34.50 with a net change of 50 cents, negative 50 cents. So that means yesterday it was 50 cents more than it was today. So we wanted to figure out what was the yield at yesterday's closing price. So first I have to figure out what is yesterday's price. Okay. It went down 50 cents, so I have to add 50 cents to it. If it had gone up 50 cents, I would have subtracted 50 cents. So to figure out yesterday, you always do the opposite of that change. So yesterday it was $35. So the yield yesterday was $1.20 divided by $35. Okay, so changing that to a percent, I get 3.5%. 3.4%. Is the yield yesterday. Okay, I have a question for you. The price changed by 50 cents. What do you think that does to the yield? The fact that, yes, it had gone down today, do you think the yield is better today than it was yesterday, or worse today than it was yesterday? Worse. Seems like it would be, right? Because the price went down. In actuality, if the dividend doesn't change and the price goes down, so this is yesterday, if I do today, I'm actually doing $1.20 divided by 34.50, which will actually give me a 3.5% yield because I'm dividing by a smaller number. So the price going up on your stock is good for your bottom line if you're going to try to sell the stock as a growth stock, but it brings down your yield from your dividends unless the dividends go up to reflect it. The price going down can be bad, but your yield has actually gone up.
Kind of like on the video where they said about being panic and go.
Yeah, exactly.
There are two ways.
Okay, so when you have a stock split, it affects your dividends the same way. Okay, so you have the pre-split price per share formula is the same as the price per dividend, like money formulas are the same. So we use the same formula. We have a 2-for-1 split. That means you're going to get 2 shares for every one that you had, which is going to cut the price in half. So with the dividend split, oops, I wrote pre and not post. Hold on. Don't write that down yet. I have to fix it. Your post money is equal to B over A times your pre-money. Same formula as the stock price. The dividends work the same way. So it was 214. We want to know what is the dividend now. So B over A times 214. Half of 214 is $1.07. Now, will that actually change your annual check? No, right? Because each stock gets half as much dividend, but you have twice as many stocks. So again, this is also okay. Since you used to have one stock and you get 214, now you have 2 stocks and you get $1.07 each, so you still get 214. It's just you get it from 2 stocks now instead of 1. Does that make sense? Okay, so we have corporate bonds and then there's government bonds. Okay, the way corporate bonds work is that you buy a bond for wherever the value is, and during the course of the time that the period of the bond is 5-year bond, 10-year bond, there's a set number of years. The corporation pays you interest. They may pay it as like an annual check, a quarterly check, or they may pay it at the end of the term of the bond. But if you buy a $100 bond, you give them $100, and then they pay you interest on that $100 because you're giving them a money. With a government bond, if you buy a $100 bond, you don't pay $100 for it usually. You'll pay pay $75 for it, and then when it matures, you get $100. So they work a little differently. But we're going to talk about corporate bonds for this one. Okay, and so what a bond is it's a loan. Okay, it's not like stocks. When you buy and sell stocks, the company doesn't get that money. But if you buy a bond, you're giving the money directly to the company. They get that money. Okay, so they're less risky than stocks. Because the value of your bond doesn't change with the market, the value of your bond is set. It's a set return. Like you know you're going to get this percent, period. Could be a lot lower than you might make on the stock market, but the risk is a lot less risky. The only risk for a bond is that the company goes out of business before you can cash it back in, before you get your money back. Okay. It gets paid back with interest. At a set rate over a certain time. Again, known ahead of time. So a 5-year bond, a 10-year bond, you know exactly how long it's going to be. It's not some indefinite thing. Okay. Can be paid annually or semi-annually. Sorry, that's hard to read. Okay, the interest is paid from the company. Okay, the face value is the amount of the bond. Okay, and that's the amount of money that you get back. So it's called maturing. So that's the amount you get when the bond matures and the loan has been paid back at that point. And matures is the date at which the bond expires or not expires, but gets paid back. And that's the end of the loan basically. And that was preset. Okay, so the day you bought the bond, you knew what day it was going to mature. Okay. Now, important distinction between a bond holder and a stockholder. Bondholders are not owners. You are not an owner of the company. You are one of the company's creditors. They owe you money because you loaned them money. You have no voting rights. You don't get dividends. You're basically just another person or entity that the company owes money to. Adam bought a $1,000 corporate bond, and the bond pays 5.7% interest per year. Okay, so how much does he receive in interest each year from this bond? Okay, so he's got $1,000, and we're going to do simple interest. Okay, so we're going to take $1,000 times the interest rate, and that'll tell us how much he earns that year. So $1,000 times 0.057, because I had to move that decimal 2 places. So he's gonna get $57 per year. Okay. And it didn't tell us the total number of years, so I don't know how much he's gonna earn overall. But he's giving them $1,000 as a loan, and they're gonna give him $57 a year for the right to use his money. That's how the bond works.